I emerged as a conscious being during the Vietnam War. You know the really famous photograph, Kent State, of a kid being shot and the girl crying over the body? I went to high school with that kid, and I became, my senior year in high school, I was the hippie jock that was also organizing political protests. I was dyslexic, I had a really hard time in school. So I got into a college because of sports and some other, went to North Texas State. I was given a second semester to redeem myself at college, and so I decided I can't do this academic stuff. I could always draw, so I'll become an art major, which I'd never taken art classes before in my life. And I took art classes at North Texas, and I flunked out of school. I needed to be in university, so I didn't go to Vietnam. I needed college deferment. I went to Buffalo, and they had a pretty shitty art school. But they did have an incredible museum there called the Albright Knox. Politics and things like that became really part of my life. I think making art, any art, is a political gesture, period. I think as an artist, I think we're reporters of the time that we live in. We are free of sponsorship. We don't have the government or the church telling us what to do. It's non-documentarian, which is highly subjective views of how we think the world is. Once I decided to become an artist, I discovered self-love, which is really important. I think it was really important. Art saved my life for sure. Pictures opened September '77, and that's where this all begins. It was curated by Douglas Crimp, and as a young artist, there was somebody with a really significant brain that was thinking about what I was doing and was writing about it. And to have that as a gift, where somebody was trying to figure out what I was doing and putting it into words, was like the most amazing thing possible. And when Pictures opened, we thought maybe we would all become successful, but nothing happened for a while. So I drove a taxi. I'm definitely a conceptually based artist, what I do. One of my great goals is to slow things down. We live in this world of an incredible image storm, and how do you get to people actually look at images more carefully? People look at my drawings and go, oh, they're photographs. Somebody tells them they're not photographs, that they're charcoal drawings, and they look much closer, and that's a way of getting people to look harder, more in depth into something. The fact that these things are rendered by hand is really important. I'm making these highly aggressive images that are made with very fragile material, charcoal. I really love images, and I really want to make beautiful images. And I spend an enormous amount of time on the compositions and how I execute a picture. We're talking about a very external aspect, but the eternal thing of making work to me is really incredibly important. I gotta feel it. I start off by having an idea of what I would like to do or what I'm responding to. How I find images, in the beginning it was responding to images that came across my vision. Newspapers, magazines, televisions, like that, or film stills or things like that. But lately, the last 15 years has been more this idea of searching. I have a sense of an image that I want to make. I think in your mind, you want to make this kind of like chaos that then certain things burn brighter than other things. And those are the things, those are the ideas that you kind of follow. In my mind, I go way out, find an idea, and bring it back. But it has to go through a meteor storm of critical criteria, that it gets beaten up. And if that idea survives, then I'll actually make it. What's interesting about making work that is labor intensive is that decision to actually make the work is a really big decision, because you're about to invest time and energy and your life in that thing. And you have to really make sure that it's worth it. Well, the scale is pretty easy. I'm American. If it's big, it's good. Seriously, I mean, it's like really, I think I really have always liked big art. I think big art challenges ownership. It also shows a kind of commitment that I believe enough in this thing to make it this big. Although I don't think my things are that big, but I think they feel bigger than they do. Here in the studio, to me, they feel pretty small. I think making things big is really a very American mentality. Abstract expressionism, to me, is my roots. I always want my work to be the scale of a Pollock or Rothko. I decided I should really go and investigate the original abstract guys. The title is from a Walt Whitman poem where he talks about how America needs to have a new gang of cosmos, a new group of priests, intellectuals, artists that are not from Europe. We got in to see all the paintings in the museums and the collections. We took hundreds of photographs of all these things, and we made the drawings from the color photographs, not from the black and white photographs. This is like, I think they're labeled. There's 50% black, there's regular black, there's black black, there's medium black, there's warm black, there's cold black, there's tons of different colors. It's arbitrary black and white photography. I made these translations where I tried to be sensitive to the color. The virtuosity is part of the trick to get you to see. The title of Petzel show, Strike the Sun, it comes from Moby Dick. It's like the hubris of Ahab. I would even strike the sun if it insulted me, which is a lot like the United States. So the flag, that big black flag there, it is the Pequod. It's kind of like the sinking ship. We had to cut the floor out. We couldn't go very deep into the floor because there are water pipes down there. So the flag doesn't go very deep into the floor, but I wanted it to look like a sinking ship. I think the United States is a bit like the Pequod. And the big drawing of the Capitol is like the Temple of Doom. It's like Moby Dick in a weird way. The drawing of Capitol is drawn in a way where the viewer becomes like King Kong. I wanted you to be able to look in the windows. I also made the clouds so it was kind of like a dolly zoom, so the building kind of looks like it's moving at you a little bit. The drawing that was there was also with the boot on the saddle. That's the horse from Kennedy's funeral, Blackjack. But it was about the dream of what America could be and what America is now. Well, the show at Metro was called The Destroyer Cycle. The next 4 years while Trump is in office is within that category. When I did the Ferguson drawing, the galleries agreed that 30% of the funds would go to Black Lives Matter. When I made the refugee drawing, the photographer told me of organizations I should support. I mean, I work with Doctors Without Borders. He's the photographer. I can't necessarily go out there and protest, but I can financially contribute. I mean, money is power for sure. So I think that's a really big part of it, that I can financially use the money that I make and donate money to the people who are trying to fight. Tigers are the most incredibly abstract looking animals. I'm going, why did they evolve like this? Apparently a tiger's face, when it's about to attack its prey, the appearance of the abstraction on its face freezes the animal for a second so that then the tiger can kill it. The tigers that I make are composite tigers. I'm trying to make these images the way I think they're supposed to be, that they're at their maximum level of effect. They're bits and pieces of other images. They're not really one image. You think you're seeing a photograph, but it's not. The series of works, they have their own life cycle. They kind of end and I can't make them anymore. I couldn't make a wave if I wanted to. I couldn't make a tiger if I wanted to. They're kind of done. My work exploded once I realized I could hire people to help me at work. If I made all the work myself, there would be 2 pieces in the show. I mean, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in these images to be made. I don't want to make political art. It's not my choice. It's like I feel I have to make it. These images that I see in the world, they require some kind of like mediation. They have to be dealt with. Otherwise, we'll see these images and we'll forget them the next day. That bothers me. I found that photograph like 2 years ago, and I said, this looks like a combination of Men in the Cities and The Matrix. I'm going to need this picture for when Obama leaves office. I want to do Obama leaving. I added a few more guys, so it looks more like The Matrix. And I made this really nasty, stormy sky. I think cliché is a maligned word because cliché is, I think, incredibly powerful. So I'm looking for archetypes, the great classic anti-war painting. It seemed like Guernica was like the archetype of that. I realized to do it, I needed to get permission from the Picasso Foundation. So the only thing they said was, you can't make it the same size. It's actually 6 inches smaller than the original. I wanted why to be a really big issue. Like, why did I do this? Which is ironic, because then you go, why did they fucking bomb Guernica? My images are surrogates for ancient archetypes. I do believe like images of collective unconscious. I think there are images that have recurred within history. I mean, I'm making voodoo. I mean, I'm just trying to get to your brain one way or another. I'm not trying to tell you what to think, but I'm trying to get you to think and trying to get you to feel for sure. I want you to be moved. I think I understand why people collect art. I think I understand possession, because the images I make are images I want to possess. It's like when you meet someone that you're attracted to, right? There's an aspect that you want to possess that person. Do you know what I mean? So you're attracted to the way they look, you want to possess them. Making art is a lot like that. You want to make an image that you can possess. And collectors are the kind of completion of that equation. They want to possess that image by owning it. But the irony is that collectors don't ever really own it. But irony is that they take on the greatest responsibility. They have to take care of the art. They don't really own the work, but they become the stewards of the art, which is really one of the greatest. People who buy my work have to take care of it. They can't be negligent about it, I don't know if I want to say it or not. I think any basic art student who has basic skills could make my work. That's why I'm important in relationship to my work, because I use these basic conventional tools to make these images. You want to believe that art is about telling the truth, but unfortunately there's a lot of shit just fashions the truth. It's not really the truth. It kind of looks like the truth. It's made with shit that we tell the truth with, but it's not the truth. And I think truth is a really big thing that we try to get to. So, and I do it with burnt stuff.